Good evening, everyone, and welcome to your Rangers Review post-match reaction video live from the gantry here at Old Trafford. A heartbreaking end for Rangers on matchday 7 of the Europa League group stage, losing by 2-1. It looked like Cyril Desser's wonderful strike late on was going to earn Rangers a memorable point here. But for heartbreak, Bruno Fernandes, United captain, popping up deep into stoppage time to rifle past Jack Butland to seal the 3 points for Ruben Amorim's men. I forgot his name there, but there you go. United did earlier opened the scoring in the first half. A mistake from Jack Butland trying to come for a cross, palming it into, well, I think that United player got a head onto it before nestling into the back of the net. But Rangers, a spirited performance from them. It was a very youthful looking Rangers side, certainly in that second half as injuries curtailed Leon Balogun and Connor Barron in the first half. Finlay Curtis coming on. We've also seen Bailey Rice get in the second half as well. And Rangers so unfortunate not to get a point out of this game, Joshua.
Sorry, everyone. I'm just working out press conference duty with Chris Jack, but so unlucky. The finish from, you almost haven't had time to digest that finish from Dessers, which was one of the best finishes we've seen from him in the last while. The nature of the Rangers team that actually finished that game and how youth heard a lot about Rangers being a young team this season and actually not seeing that in practice, not seeing it's been, Tom Lawrence and Cyril Dessers up top or Kieran Dow playing off the right. Today you did have that with Finlay Curtis in the team, with Bailey Rice coming on. Rangers couldn't get over the line in the end, and it would have been a really memorable point, as I say, because of the configuration of that team. You had James Tavernier playing at centre half for the second half, Red Van Yilmaz out of position again at right back. United weren't great. Rangers will be really frustrated at the nature of both those goals because of the lack of pressure on Martinez for the cross for the winner. The fact is, from a set piece, the fact Jack Butland scores an own goal for the opener, and it takes away from what would have been an incredible, memorable moment. But ultimately, United's bench so much stronger, and that showed in the end.
Yep. Quick mention, the Rangers fans just housed to our right-hand side were magnificent, as you come to expect it in these matches. I was delighted that they got that Cyril Dessers moment. In fact, a nice moment from them at the end. They were just singing the Dessers song there, and Dessers himself absolutely gutted on the pitch, and no wonder. That could have been quite the parting gift if he is to move on in this window. A fabulous strike. Also hit the post as well. Came close just moments prior to that. But it's a real gut wrencher. Just when you think Rangers getting that goal, they got the momentum, you're thinking just see this one out. But it's a moment of quality from Manchester United. We know they have quality. It just looked like Rangers. It was a real dogged second half performance, and they're so unlucky to come away with nothing from this game. The first goal, Jack Butland suspect, Joshua, he was caught out a couple of times. First half, I think Rangers fortunate, of course. They had the ball in the back of the net, but for an infringement, I think it was a foul on Proper, I think it was. In the second half, he came for a cross, and thanks to Hamza Igaman on the line, saved his blushes. He's not comfortable coming for balls, is he? And he was suspect there. We've seen it at Fir Park as well. He got away with one. He's not dominated enough for me.
Nah, he made a few really good saves. He saved from Ahmad in the first half, and the first half, actually the biggest chance of the half, I think, came to Nico Raskin when Rangers had a good pressing moment, and Raskin went through one-on-one. He'd played a big part in actually winning the ball back in the first place, couldn't convert. Hamza Igaman had some really nice moments throughout the game, did not look out of place whatsoever, but as you say, it'll be the nature of those two goals that I think frustrate Rangers, because they looked vulnerable from crossed balls. Now, I think if you look at, I know it's been Liam Kelly and goals as of late, but it extends back, as you rightly say, to Jack Butland at Motherwell, and before that, Rangers have not looked good at defensive set pieces really since the turn of the year. I don't think they conceded many before that. Conceded against St Johnstone, against Hibs, looked bad against Motherwell, and there's one more off the top of my head too. So that'll be a concern. Does it come down to the fact that they're missing a lot of their defence, and that alters how effective they are at defending these situations? I don't know. And Butland, he did make a good few saves, but you're right, that's a bit of a pattern for him looking weak in that area in the last couple of months. You give him a little bit of sympathy because he's come back from injury and this is his first game back after injury. But given how well Rangers are generally defended, given the save that Butland made from Ahmad in that first half, he'll be really frustrated at the nature of that goal.
In terms of Ahmad's their main man, and he's quality, there's no doubt about it. I thought Jefte did well up against him tonight. There was a few occasions where he got clear, which is understandable given he's a class player, but Jefte, I think the goal maybe, I've not seen it back, but I've seen one replay of it. Perhaps he should have done better, Jefte, in terms of tracking his man. Again, it's a quality ball in. That aside, as we touched on, a very youthful Rangers team in that second half. I was surprised to see Finlay Curtis coming on. Bailey Rice get the second half, which will do his development in the world of good. But let's be honest, Philippe Clement talked about this in his pre-match press conference. He had 8 players unavailable for the game, but I think the Rangers fans can be proud of what they witnessed after going that goal down. I thought I was slightly concerned the roof may cave in at that point, but it didn't. And fair play to the Rangers getting the goal back through Dessers. And certainly there'll be a lot of disappointment in that dressing room, but there's plenty of positives as well, Joshua, I think.
I think the kind of, and we'll have something about this on the site tomorrow if we hopefully make it back to Glasgow because of the weather. As I mentioned a few minutes ago, Clement spent a lot of the first half of the season speaking about a young team when actually the average age of Rangers starting 11 has fallen by a matter of months in the Premiership. And the fact that, Rabbi Matondo, as spoke about today, there's been complications with that loan deal, which looks close to being agreed. He's been told he can leave. Kieran Dowell has been told he can find a new club. Tom Lawrence is out of contract this summer and there's been interest in him. Rangers are open to the likelihood that Dessers could leave, although that perhaps depends on other circumstances, the fact that they don't have many strikers at the moment too. But all that to say, they've spent a lot of this season speaking about a young team with young players in it, like Jefte. I know he has a mistake for the final goal, but I thought he generally did well against Ahmad, like Hamza Igaman. Now you're starting to see Clinton Nsiala come in, and the fact that him and Rafael Fernandez aren't playing tonight, and the fact that I think there's still questions about some of the players that Rangers have spent money on. I didn't think Bayrami was great tonight, and Rangers need him to be. Yeah. But between now and the end of the season, Derek, the only way that Rangers are going to catch up with Celtic, the only way they're going to be able to bridge the gap is if they invest in youth, and if they give it a chance. There's no value in playing someone like Dowell who isn't going to get better. And that's, I think, been the disconnect with what Clement said at the start of the season and what has actually been played out on the pitch. There's been young players, but it's not been a young team. Yeah. Tonight, that was a young team. There's been this change that we reported about on the website last week, where instead of the Best v Best programme, Rangers are going to be prioritising loan moves for young players. And Bailey Rice is the exact same. I don't think it should have taken up until now for the pathway to materialise a little bit more. I think the amount of change off the pitch at Rangers has obviously had a knock-on effect to squad building, to squad planning, to young players getting a chance. It looks like it's going to happen now, and it needs to, because it allows Rangers to cut their wages and invest well and not pay over the odds for players who are beyond their peak and aren't good enough, ultimately.
Yep. Lots of comments come in. There's a few I wanted to start. Rice has come in for praise. Apparently, Rio Ferdinand has given him a lot of praise on TV. I thought he was good. In fact, so good. I want to see a lot more of him. Perhaps it remains to be seen what the injury is to Connor Barron. I think it's some sort of a knee jarring in that first half. He was able to come back on, but who knows how long he'll be out for, whether it's more precautionary more than anything else. But for me, I want to see more of Bailey Rice in the middle of the park. Jackson with the point says Tava is better at centre-back than at right-back. Thought he was very good at centre-back. Of course, a reshuffling of the pack. Thought Ridvan had a difficult night. I don't like him in the right-back. I think that experiment should have been binned before tonight. But Tav for me was a real stable body in there at centre half, and there's another. Who else was it again? I thought Raskin was good. He did really well in the middle of the park, and just the Rangers fans are just applauding there. I'm not too sure, is that Ali McCoy or somebody? No, it's the young boys are coming back out, but the fans have been terrific. We've said that before, but it's so unfortunate they don't get a memorable point here at Old Trafford. Rangers now 13th in the Europa League group stage. Of course, Union Saint-Gilloise a week tonight at you'd imagine a packed, raucous Ibrox. I'd fancy Rangers to get the job done there. I think. Don't know if top 8's out of sight at the moment, Joshua, but I think they're in the playoffs nonetheless. But they'll certainly take a lot of belief from this match.
I think they will, and there'll be a bit of regret because, again, of how those 2 goals came about. You could feel here that I think they really needed that result, Man United, and it was a big atmosphere at the end of the game when they did eventually get that winner through Bruno Fernandes. But for me, the big thing to come out of tonight is that coinciding with other aspects of January, and I think you'll see this towards the remaining days of the January transfer window as well. The remainder of this season should be spent giving Bailey Rice game time. If Finlay Curtis is good enough to be in and around the squad, that should continue. The likes of Lovelace can make the impact that Matondo's not making because he's been injured for the majority of the season anyway. And that's the disconnect that has been there. We saw it tonight. Is there still criticisms to be made of things like set pieces, Jack Butland? As I say, the money that has been spent in certain areas. I've defended Bayrami at points. I thought tonight he was poor. He's not giving Rangers enough on the ball. Hamza Igaman looked really comfortable out there. Looked like one of the best forwards on the pitch. And it will be a little bit of a night of what if as we see Desser's goal play in front of us again. It's just
it was what a goal it was.
Yeah, some strike.
Ball as well.
It was, yeah. It was a bit. It was the thing is, it was a bit of an aimless ball, not aimless ball forward, but it's one of those passes that
pinpoint.
Okay.
It was a pinpoint.
Rangers play too many of them. They come off now and again, but it's an incredible goal, and what an incredibly interesting player Cyril Dessers is, isn't he? As we finish off to go to the mix zone, but we should say to people that we will be on in the morning briefing at some point, but we don't know when we're going to get back to Glasgow, so we'll keep them updated in the morning.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, there's a storm brewing, so we will be on tomorrow to dissect the game further, folks. What time that will be, who knows at this moment in time. Somebody just commented there, 40 million for Dessers, please. Yeah, after that goal, that should increase his value somewhat. But a disappointing night here at Old Trafford. Rangers acquitted themselves well, but unfortunately on the wrong side of a defeat. It's finished Man United 2, Rangers 1. Close but no cigar, I think, is the conclusion to that one. Right, folks, we're heading down to the mix zone. Keep your eyes peeled on the channel for the latest from Philip Clement. Chris is in the press conference, and we'll bring you as many players as we possibly can. Until then, bye for now.